The Voice of Reason 2, Part 1. Geralt? He raised his head, torn from sleep. The sun was already high and forced blinding golden rays through the shutters, penetrating the chamber with tentacles of light. The Witcher shaded his eyes with his hand in an unnecessary instinctive reflex which he had never managed to shake off. All he needed to do, after all, was narrow his pupils into vertical slits. "It's late," said Yennefer, opening the shutters. "You've slept in. Off with you, Yola." The girl sat up suddenly and leant out of bed to take her mantle from the floor. Geralt felt a trickle of cool saliva on his shoulder where her lips had been a moment ago. "Wait," he said hesitantly. She looked at him, quickly turned away. She had changed. There was nothing of the water nymph in her anymore, nothing of the luminous, chamomile-scented apparition she had been at dawn. Her eyes were blue, not black, and she had freckles on her nose, her neckline, her shoulders. They weren't unattractive, they suited her complexion and reddish hair. But he hadn't seen them at dawn, when she had been his dream. With shame, he realized he felt resentment towards her, resentment that she hadn't remained a dream, and that he would never forgive himself for it. "Wait," he repeated. "Yola, I wanted—" "Don't speak to her, Geralt," said Yennefer. "She won't answer you anyway. Off with you, Yola." Wrapped in her mantle, the girl pattered towards the door, her bare feet slapping the floor, troubled, flushed, awkward, no longer reminding him in any way of Yennefer. "Yennefer," he said, reaching for his shirt. "I hope you're not annoyed that you won't punish her, will you?" "Fool," the priestess snorted. "You've forgotten where you are. This is neither a hermitage nor a convent. It's Melitele's temple. Our goddess doesn't forbid our priestesses anything." "Almost. You forbade me to talk to her." "I didn't forbid you, but I know it's pointless. Yola doesn't speak." "What?" "She doesn't speak. She's taken a vow. It's a sort of sacrifice through which— what's the point of explaining? You wouldn't understand anyway. You wouldn't even try to understand. I know your views on religion. No, don't get dressed yet. I want to check your neck." She sat on the edge of the bed and skillfully unwound the linen bandages wrapped thickly around the Witcher's neck. He grimaced in pain. As soon as he had arrived in Elander, Yennefer had removed the painfully thick stitches of shoemaker's twine with which they had stitched him in Vizima, opened the wound and dressed it again. The results were clear. He had arrived at the temple almost cured, if perhaps a little stiff. Now he was sick again and in pain. But he didn't protest. He'd known the priestess for years and knew how great was her knowledge of healing, how rich and comprehensive her pharmacy was. A course of treatment at Melitele's temple could do nothing but good. Yennefer felt the wound, washed it, and began to curse. He already knew this routine by heart. She had started on the very first day, and had never failed to moan when she saw the marks left by the Princess of Vizima's talons. "It's terrible to let yourself be slashed like this by an ordinary strigger. Muscles, tendons, she only just missed your carotid artery. Great Melitele! Geralt, what's happening to you? How did she get so close to you? What did you want with her? To mount her?" He didn't answer and smiled faintly. "Don't grin like an idiot." The priestess rose and took a bag of dressings from the chest of drawers. Despite her weight and low stature, she moved swiftly and gracefully. "There's nothing funny about it. You're losing your reflexes, Geralt." "You're exaggerating." "I'm not exaggerating at all." Yennefer spread a greenish mush smelling sharply of eucalyptus over the wound. "You shouldn't have allowed yourself to get wounded, but you did, and very seriously at that, fatally even. And even with your exceptional powers of regeneration, it'll be months before your neck is fully mobile again. I warn you, don't test your strength by fighting an agile opponent during that time." "Thank you for the warning. Perhaps you could give me some advice, too. How am I supposed to live in the meantime? Rally a few girls, buy a cart, and organise a travelling house of ill repute?" Yennefer shrugged, bandaging his neck with quick, deft movements.
Am I supposed to give you advice and teach you how to live? Am I your mother or something?
Right, that's done. You can get dressed. Breakfast's waiting for you in the refectory. Hurry up, or you'll have to make it yourself. I don't intend to keep the girls in the kitchen to midday. Where will I find you later? In the sanctuary?
No. Nenneke got up. Not in the sanctuary. You're a welcome guest here, Witcher, but don't hang around in the sanctuary. Go for a walk, and I'll find you myself.
Fine.